Hi guys, and welcome to your weekly horoscope. This is for Monday the 24th of August going through until Sunday the 30th of August 2020. We're in the last week of August already. Thank you for joining me. It's a pleasure to be with you today. I have looked at what the planets are doing up in the sky over the next coming days and how they kind of generate an energy amongst themselves. Astrology is based on the notion of as above, so below. So the energy that's up in the sky is going to influence all of us here on planet Earth in the coming week. So that's why these horoscopes are for all signs of the zodiac, and they're for everyone who watches, because it doesn't matter if you're a Capricorn or an Aries or a Virgo or a Cancer. The base energy is the same. It's what the planets are doing up in the sky, and it's going to affect all of us. Just the way different people interpret and work with this energy is different, but the influence is the same. So I'm going to go through each day of this coming week with you, so you know exactly what is coming up. By the way, the horoscope also is based on UK time, so if you're elsewhere in the world, take the time difference into account, but don't get too hung up on it. These things are gradual changes that alter over hours, several hours, days. So, 1 minute past 6, if I get there 2 minutes past 6, have I missed out? No, it's not like that. It's a gradual shift. So let's see what this coming week is all about, how you can get the most out of it, and really what opportunities lie within the next couple of days so you can have an amazing time. So starting with Monday the 24th of August, we've got Mars in Aries. Mars is the red planet. It rules Aries, so ambition, drive, fire, sexuality, passion, that's really fiery and unproblematic for you at the moment, so you feel that really strongly here on Monday the 24th. It squares Saturn in Capricorn. Saturn also rules Capricorn, so two very happy planets squaring each other. Square causes friction, so Mars, my ambition, my drive, versus Saturn, the head teacher, which says these are the structures and rules that you have to follow in Capricorn, and you better work with these rules if you want to progress. So you can see a clash coming up there. Immediately on Monday the 24th, Mercury, the communication planet, is also in a sign that it rules, Virgo. So communication, especially info that's coming in and that needs to be addressed and analyzed, no problem for you whatsoever. So really the ideas and notions that come to you, honor those. It quincunxes Chiron in Aries, the wounded healer. First asteroid here in a sign that it doesn't rule. It's in Aries, so the wounded healer in Aries is about taking the initiative to heal, to transform. And then finally we have the moon in Scorpio, the way you feel. So Scorpio really likes the minutiae of the secret, the hidden, the unseen. It's also a water sign, so it's very much about feeling your way through a maze and trying to get the answer for yourself. It opposes Uranus in Taurus, the planet of rebellion and eccentricity, in the sign of the bull. So anything can happen in a practical earthy sense. So all this together on Monday the 24th, especially the Mars Saturn square, the friction between do I do what I want to do or do I follow the rules, that may give you a really strong sense of pushing until you get to a point of saying, I just want to throw in the towel and give up here. So don't be surprised if you get this sense of, oh, I'm doing everything, and then suddenly it's it's not prefaced by, the other way round, the suffix, the addendum to that is going to be, I'm not getting anywhere, I'm just going to give up. So obviously that kind of attitude can bring major chaos into your life, but in a serious sense, if you find that suddenly you're like, I can't do this anymore, and you've been doing it for years, if that kind of thing comes up, it's an opportunity to let go of pain that you've internalized and that you continue to inflict on yourself. So it's a faulty belief. Like if you have a restaurant and you don't feel like you're good enough and your food is good enough, so you price it really affordably and you overcompensate by working 14 hours a day. And because you feel like you're not good enough, you have to put that effort in to make the business work. Lo and behold, the business does work, but your life doesn't work anymore because you've put yourself in a position where you're working 14 hours a day and you're just scraping by financially, even though the business is thriving. So you see, then it's really important to say, hang on, something has to change here. You can continue and say, oh, never mind, I'm just tired today. Let's keep going. You can keep doing that for years and years and years. So if you really get to a crossroads kind of moment with something like that in your life, or a relationship or anything that you're connected to, and you feel that I'm self-harming here, I continue to inflict this pain on myself and I really don't need to anymore, then it's better to throw your hands up and say, I'm not doing this anymore, or even help, or I can't, or stop. It's better to do that and bring upheaval into your life on Monday and do something about it than to let this go on for, another few weeks, months, even years. If you don't get that sense of, oh, I have to give up, if you're progressing and you believe in something and you're working at something, don't expect everything to fall into place really, really quickly on Monday. It's to be expected that you don't progress as quickly as usual. And because of that, don't give yourself a hard time. Instead, take time to see what you can let go of and what negatives you think about yourself. And if there are things that have crept into a relationship like, I'm not pretty enough, so I can't really stand up to, let's say it's a same-sex relationship, I can't stand up to her in terms of the house chores. The sense that I do all the work and she does nothing, and every time I bring it up she yells at me. I can't stand up to that because I feel like I should do the housework because I'm not the pretty one in the relationship and I should feel grateful that she loves me to begin with. It's that kind of thinking where you've evaluated yourself incorrectly and your relationship or your work or your situation in life is the way it is because you've done that. Monday is a really good time to first of all identify that, to see how you're pushing yourself and flogging yourself. If you do get to the point of I can't anymore, then see that as an opportunity, not a crisis. And if you think, okay, I have to keep going, then at least become willing to tweak certain things to make life better for you. On Tuesday the 25th, we have the moon going into Sagittarius at 50 minutes past 12 in the afternoon, so 50 minutes past lunchtime. The moon in Sagittarius is really optimistic. In Scorpio, it's inward looking, and in Sagittarius, it's outward looking. It's what adventures have not been had yet. What can I explore? And it's really hopeful as well. It's ruled by Jupiter, the lucky planet. So if I go out into the world, of course, lucky, positive things are going to happen to me. It's that sense of optimism. Mercury is in Virgo, and it trines, so it forms a positive relationship with the rebel Uranus in the earth sign of Taurus. So information that you receive and make sense of can lead to chaos and upheaval in your actual life. Venus, the love planet, is in Cancer. Venus in Cancer is fierce when it comes to love. I love you, I protect you, I want you, I am embracing my baby. It's the kind of love that you really know you're loved when you feel this. And Venus in Cancer opposes Jupiter in Capricorn. So luck is yours when you work hard. So on Tuesday the 25th, the energy really swiftly changes from this plowing ahead and really being quite intense on Monday to Tuesday, taking a breath and kind of saying, I am ready for an adventure and I'm ready for a break. So if you have your own schedule or if you have control over your own day-to-day, if you can schedule in a break to treat yourself to something on Tuesday, do it, because you'll really breathe, get a sense of, oh, I can breathe, thank goodness, there's hope. Yes. So if you've been feeling a little bit down or blue, Tuesday is a really good day for a pick-me-up. Tuesday, self-care may blossom into a new relationship with an actual other person or place or thing. It's a good day to act on thoughts and ideas. So draw up the contract, send out the manuscript, go on the first date, get ready to express yourself It's a really good day to have a little bit of fun, to take care of yourself, but also to present yourself as you really are, to come as you are, without any artifice. And that's really difficult to do if you're on a first interview. I mean, if they say, hello, nice to have you here in the tower of wherever, and what's your worst quality? I mean, who's gonna really tell the truth? Very few people. So, presenting yourself as you really are, you're able to answer that question on Tuesday in a way that's honest, but also charming. So rather than exposing your weirdest, darkest fantasy, which is immediately gonna axe you from that job, you're able to express a weakness that is real, that is going to impress the interviewer or the date that you're on, and you're still being honest while really, and sharing something and opening yourself up, but you're not doing it in a way that's clunky or socially awkward, or that could come across as odd or unpleasant, or it's not a yes and kind of answer. It kind of stops the conversation, it stops the flow. There's no problem with that on Tuesday. So you're really able to come across in an authentic way, and people like that. So even if you're at a job interview and you say the wrong thing, or if you're on a date and you say the wrong thing, if you're being the real you, and it's charming or authentic, or it's just it reveals a character quirk of yours, and that's the kind of thing people fall in love with. Yeah, so get ready to really put yourself out there. I really get the intuitive sense that there's the little glint in your eye on Tuesday because you really are doing something you care about, and someone sees that and kind of picks up on it and says, I want to be a part of that little glint in the eye. I want to see what's happening there. So I expect interest on Tuesday, and interest in you. Wednesday, the 26th of August, we have the moon still in Sagittarius. So again, it's a very kind of can-do time. Problem? No worries. Can sort it? Absolutely. It squares Mercury in Virgo, so friction now between infinite optimism and these are the facts of life. This is reality. And the moon also squares Neptune in Pisces. So this is the world of fear that society is living in right now. So you're confronted with that. But you're able to analyze it and make sense of it, and not slide into despair and fear, but to really think for yourself. The moon also quincunxes the planet of the unexpected, Uranus in Taurus, and the love planet Venus in the sign of love, and the home, Cancer. So on Wednesday, you may find yourself being sabotaged by someone who, after you've been sabotaged, then says, I was only trying to help. I only had the best of intentions. So be careful with your reaction to that, especially when you're responding and saying, this is how I feel. Those may have been your intentions, but this is how this actually affected me. First of all, are you really going to affect change? Think about that. If you're going to go to the effort of saying this was not okay because, and I'm going to take the time to explain to you why sabotaging me is not a good thing, then consider whether that's actually worth it and whether that person is willing to see, because not everything is done maliciously, you know? Not everyone's out to get you. What is it? That stupid thing about even if you're paranoid doesn't mean everyone's not out to get you, something like that. Wednesday, not everyone is out to get you. Maybe someone puts their foot in it. The reason I'm saying be careful with your reaction is it's likely to manifest. So if you call someone a name as a result of them sabotaging you maliciously or just unwittingly, and you call them a name, it could be that one moment in your relationship where they always kind of refer back to, you know, like 5 years later and you're madly in love and you're married, and it's like, well, you know, on that August day, that beautiful Wednesday where you called me an idiot because I was just trying to help, and that becomes one of those key conversation things that is always referred back to. Don't dig yourself into that hole, okay? Because the energy is about, I want to have fun and go on an adventure, but there's this information that comes into my day and interrupts it. So I have to deal with that. And then The moon still says, let's go and have fun, but this energy from someone else causes chaos that I have to deal with, and it's like girl interrupted or boy interrupted. So most people, when they're interrupted, are a little bit, okay, what's going on? And then they just deal with it and they get on with it. Do that. Be optimistic. Don't read a negative intention behind anything, everything, and everybody. Try and see the, I'm just thinking, sorry, because I'm just intuitively, someone irritates you a little bit. But don't blow up, basically, because it can come and bite you in the rear end in the future, because it's likely that this is a person who's a good person in your life and who you should keep around, okay? So if you just say, okay, well, it's an interruption, never mind, let's keep going, that's the best thing to do, because then you don't manifest something negative which sits on your relationship like this gremlin on your chest when you've got a cough. Instead, it's kind of smoothed over, and there's this opportunity to put a wedge in to your relationship with someone else, you know, to put a block between you and another person. And that's a trap that you can easily sidestep today just by being aware of it. Moving on to Thursday, the 27th of August, the moon now moves into Capricorn at 5:38 in the afternoon. The moon in Capricorn is much more serious. It says if you want to feel secure and safe in life, you've got to work and you've got to use some elbow grease and be resilient and try again. The moon then trines the sun in Virgo. The sun in Virgo is your identity saying, make sense of it, be patient, listen, learn, reflect. And those two are very sober kind of signs. They're both very like fact of life, deal with it, listen, learn, do what you can, leave what you can't. Venus in Cancer is still madly in love. That trines Neptune in Pisces. That's like blowing fairy dust into the atmosphere and enchanting everybody. That's really, really nice. The combination means that because of this fairy dust and the sober, the combination of a sober, can-do attitude with anything is possible, the wondrous, the magical, believe in love kind of thing, makes it a really good day for mediation and working towards a common goal or some sort of resolution. Especially if there are trust issues, because you don't need to negotiate and mediate with people you trust and love, do you? It's the people you don't trust and love. It's really a good day to address the concerns with a view to find a shared purpose so that the two of you can move forward and have a good relationship in future. It's almost like saying, we're not friends now, but we will be in future, so what can we put in place to get us there? So when there are other people involved, don't kind of dictate to other people or preach like you know everything about relationships. You don't know either. Instead, just let people share ideas. That's not always the best idea, you know? I'm sorry, I'm using the word idea too many times. So sometimes it's like, okay, everyone have a voice and speak. It devolves into chaos and a shouting fest. And sometimes you say, okay, I'm not here to preach to you people. What are your opinions and views on this? And then sometimes you have a really nice discussion and you get something out of it. And Thursday is one of those days where you say, let's all chip in and see how we feel here. You get to some sort of common resolution. That's the magic of the day. But it can also be a personal journey. So if you can't trust yourself in certain areas, it's a good day to listen to you. Why are you actually doing these things that make you untrustworthy? Are you unhappy? Are you under more stress than usual? You know, it's what I find helpful is sometimes seeing the patterns in life and looking at things over years. You know, so when you were in Canada for those 5 years, you were isolated and working as a PR, an executive PR assistant, and you weren't happy. And then you came down to London and you still weren't happy, but the drinking fell off. And then you found that relationship years later, you moved into the country, you got really negative with your relationships then. The drinking increased, and then 2 years later it just stopped again. Not that everything's about drinking, but you know, not everything is like, okay, he was under pressure from school and family, therefore he drank. Or work was hard, therefore he went home and self-harmed. It's not always like that, but people cope with things in different ways. And we make it worse when we try and cope with our unhappiness in a certain way, but that way we choose makes things even worse. So it can be infidelity. I'm not happy in this marriage. I'm going to try and feel something through sex, so I'm going to cheat. That never makes anyone happy. Or I'm going to numb my feelings or elevate my feelings, so I'm going to drink. That doesn't work. And that's like compounding the negativity and the abuse, because you are trying to do something to make yourself feel better. That thing doesn't work, then you give yourself a hard time over that, and then you continue doing it, giving yourself an even harder time, and it's just like, oh. So just be aware that maybe you don't behave perfectly. Maybe you do it because you need to release certain energy. So instead of judging yourself and coming down on yourself like a ton of bricks, just ask, is there a better way of releasing this energy? What are my thoughts on this? So listen to yourself why you do these things. Is it because you are under more pressure than usual? Or are you really ill with sex addiction or gambling addiction? Or are you just not able to face certain things in life? You know, it's similar to Monday in the sense that this thing has come up. I've been fighting it for years. Do I keep fighting? Is the fight even relevant? Do I throw in the towel, or does the whole thing just go poof? It's really a questioning of the things that you resist. Are those even worth the struggle and the fight? Moving on to Friday the 28th of August. The moon in Capricorn now sits right on top of the lucky planet Jupiter, also in Capricorn. So the way you feel, stern, sober, productive, actions have consequences, that kind of very structured thinking, meets the lucky planet, and it's like, if I just do my bit, I know things are going to be positive. So you start Friday with a really nice frame of mind. The moon also forms a trine with the rebel Uranus in Taurus, the communication planet Mercury in the receptive sign of Virgo, and it squares the wounded healer Chiron in Aries. So lots of earth, lots of effectiveness, practicality, facing facts, all together. Teamwork, therapy, marriage counseling, all of those kind of really structured environments and conversations that are had to improve something in future, those are really likely to succeed on Friday the 28th, because people are more open-minded than they usually are, and they're willing to embrace, or we all are going to be more willing to embrace changes and seeing other people's points of view, and thereby kind of we embrace other perspectives just other than our own. So it's a great day to give your boyfriend a key to move into your flat or house, to propose to your loved one, or to hammer out a way for you and another person to really move forward together. And again, it's especially those kind of relationships if you work together, or if you're family, or it's any kind of relationship that you can't just cut off. You don't really have a choice. I mean, you always have a choice, but if it's your mother or father, you're not just going to cut them off. You're going to see, can I make this relationship better? Those really complex relationships, those are the ones that need addressing, again, because the good ones usually tend to work. But if you address those relationships that are problematic with this kind of internal perspective that says, this will work out, this is worth investing in. It's so interesting, you know, like when you treat someone as an absolute angel and you see the best in them, and even when they screw up, you always just focus on the best, you will always bring the best out in that person, and they will always strive to do great things for you because they believe in themselves. I didn't realize that ice cream truck comes every Sunday. Starting to realize that now. yeah. Anyway, I've lost my thread now. So, hooray for reconciliation on Friday the 28th, basically. It's really the best day of the week to put real things in place to make a relationship with someone better, especially if you don't have a real choice about that person being in your life and you have to have them in your life, or you've decided to have them in your life, you've hired them, then hooray for making a plan to have better relationships with people in our lives. Saturday the 29th of August, Mercury, the communication planet, still in Virgo. So all week with Mercury in Virgo, you're really good at identifying info and breaking it down, making sense of it, and then actually taking action based on that information. And if you do take action based on the info you come up with yourself, you're really much more likely to find love this week, especially on Tuesday, I'm just being told. So on Saturday, with Mercury in Virgo, trining Jupiter in Capricorn, working on the things that you have gleaned and discovered over the week is really likely to support you positively. Capricorn moon also conjunct Saturn in Capricorn and Pluto in Capricorn, so structure and stability and transformation based on the way you go about your life, what practical things you put in. The moon also squares Mars in Aries and opposes Venus in Cancer. So it's at odds with both the feminine, I love, I care, and Mars in Aries, I get, I am. It's at odds with both of them. So on Saturday, it's your diligence, productivity, and competence that may be temporarily interrupted by an unexpected new love in your life. So all of these things that you value and treasure so much, I'm reliable, I make sense of information, I work hard, I'm trying to change things for the better, all of that kind of goes out the window. It's like, oh hello, something wonderful's here, being presented to me on a silver platter. So it's okay to make time for this. That's the irony of the day on Saturday the 29th, that this miracle occurs in the sense of someone you fall in love with or something you fall in love with comes into your life, which doesn't happen every day. And instead of just embracing it, you say, hey, should I be back at work? Make time to enjoy love. In fact, maintaining a good work-life balance on Saturday the 29th of August is a part of being effective. So you can see it almost as you're working for a better you. So by making sure that you treat yourself and by allowing yourself to have a little bit of fun and to have a bit of time off and to enjoy love and happiness in life, it's a way of you working. So if you need to tell yourself that, I don't know why you would, it's okay to treat yourself. It's okay to be happy. If you're not allowed to do that for some reason because you're a terrible person, yeah, I was thinking about this earlier as well. I always think of this one story someone told me once, and it just stuck with me. Someone had, while drunk, got into a car and run someone over and killed that person. And they'd done the time legally and all of that stuff. But what I always found so interesting was how to live with that and how to come to terms with something like that, because it doesn't just go away. You know, it's like that Australian ad where the victim is always kind of haunting you, and that's all very true, but how do you live with that kind of guilt? That's what I find fascinating, because you can't just beat yourself up every day for the rest of your life. But an outsider would look at that situation and say, oh, well, I suppose that person was just remorseful for the rest of their life. Yes, but what about the among other things? So it's, yes, you may have to work and you may have to work on this and these issues are still in your life. But at the same time, what about your happiness and your fun? And things aren't mutually exclusive. You can have, we're complex beings. You can have a lot going on and still make the time to love yourself and to have fun and to do all of those things. So try and compartmentalize on Saturday by, first of all, you feel your diligence and effectiveness is interrupted because this love comes in, but then realize that making time for love is actually being effective. And by being diligent about that, you're going to be more productive in all areas of your life. So there's some really hardcore people who've totally given up on themselves on Saturday the 29th, who finally break down and are nice to themselves and to say, do you know what, you are not the devil. You too deserve love and a happy life, and I, being the same person, am not going to stand in your way anymore. So again, it's similar to Monday in the sense of, too much, I throw the towel in, I give up. It's that place of, do you know what, the fight is pointless. So anyone who kind of fights themselves all the time, this non-stop back and forth, am I a good person? No, you don't deserve this. And the thing that always, again, reminds me is Byron Katie, the work. She had such bad depression that she used to sleep on the floor because she didn't feel worthy of a bed. And I think she said that to Oprah or someone, and she laughed. You didn't deserve a bed. I never found that funny. Things like that people find a bit funny. Usually it's like, oh, what a weird thing to say. I could really relate to that, because it's like, no, like, it's the worst kind of self-hatred that you can imagine for yourself. I mean, short of, I'm going to lie down on some hot coals to actually burn myself on a day-to-day basis. If you're going about your everyday life and you've gone to work and you've done this, and then at night you lie on the ground because you don't feel like you deserve a bed. No. Okay? So you can't be effective in your life if you're undermining yourself and attacking yourself. And if you're not aware of doing that, and you do it to yourself, pay attention and ask yourself, am I mean to myself consistently? And you'll see it this week. Because we could all talk to ourselves better. We could all be nicer to ourselves. And finally, sorry, I'm going on about this, but what I've noticed, the less judgmental you are towards other people, the less judgmental you'll be towards yourself. So when you hear people really slagging other people off, like really letting them have it, you know that they say that to themselves and that they feel 10 times worse. So you can't even be like, oh, what a bitchy person, because it's just like, oh, I wouldn't want to be in their brain, because that bitchiness turned inward is going to be a nightmare. So just people like that even feel sorry for, and if you are one of those people, change it and stop doing it. Sunday, the 30th of August, the moon moves into Aquarius at 38 minutes past midnight. So it's in Aquarius all night and all day. The moon then sextiles the rebel Uranus and Taurus. Communication planet Mercury is still in the sign of the assessor, the accountant, Virgo, and opposes Neptune, the water planet, in the water sign of Pisces. And it also opposes the love planet Venus in Cancer and Pluto in Capricorn. So Sunday, you're going to experience a lot of firsts, especially firsts in the sense of love and new beginnings. It's my first time being kissed under the willows, or it's my first time on a roller coaster, or it's my first time seeing this amazing vista. It's a day of new. First time. I love firsts, seeing a new place for the first time, or meeting a new person, or going on an adventure, going swimming in a new place. Anything that's kind of just makes the world a little bit bigger, that's really likely to come into your life. If you can plan, do something adventurous over the weekend, because the more you do, the more you give love an opportunity to find you and to come into your life. Sunday is an amazing day for love and new beginnings. Don't be shocked to have something that you've tried to manifest for a while now suddenly become real today. All you need to do is to be open, and you are much more open-minded than usual this whole week anyway, so that's not a big struggle. be open to adjusting your schedule, and that may face a little bit more resistance. But when it comes to adjusting your schedule so that you can have time to be happy or to experience love, then please honor yourself enough to say that is worth adjusting my schedule for. And you may be surprised with how much your life will change as a result of this weekend on the 29th and 30th of August. Yeah. There's always this Lionsgate thing on in August that I never really bother with because it happens every year. Is it the 8th of the 8th? I think it might be. It's just basically the 8th of the 8th. 8 in numerology is about power. So in August, this Lionsgate, they call it 888 sometimes. Was it 888? Some year, the year would have added up to 8, and that would have been 888. And that's a powerful time of new opportunities. But I don't feel like we've had that, or I mean, we're not going to have that every 8th of August, that we have this sudden permanent transformation of the self and the identity. But it's reminding me now because at the end of the month in August, we have this new moon in Leo. And also this last week here, it really is very much these themes of giving birth to the new fiery, passionate, lion-like creature, and really allowing and letting go of anything that's old or outdated or not particularly useful. It's about just letting that slide away. And it's a nice kind of new beginning time coupled with letting go of things that are no longer useful. So it's in with the new and out with the old. And it's a really nice kind of, it's a time that feels like a crossroads. Like lots of people are going in different directions, finding new places in life, starting over, being reinvigorated and starting on a new journey. It's that kind of vibe. So this is a week where you particularly can accept and reconcile with parts of yourself that have been at war for a while and with other people, and also to then make peace internally. And whether it's chicken or the egg and the chicken, but that then means that love comes into your life this week, Tuesday, Saturday, Sunday, most likely. So have an amazing week. If you would like a personal reading with me, then please get in touch via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, just click on book your reading to order your reading with me. In my personal readings, I use astrology, tarot, numerology, as well as my intuition. And by looking at everything, I can answer any questions you've got about your life purpose or work or love life or where to live or money or health, anything you can think of, spirituality, ascension, enlightenment, past lives, future lives, life purpose, anything. To draw up your astrology chart, I need your place of birth, date of birth, and time of birth. If you don't have the time of birth, then order a chart rectification with me. That's a process where I work out your time of birth. So that's also on the website, gregoryscott.com. Check that out there. That's the personal readings I do. You can order that on the website, gregoryscott.com, just going to the front page and clicking on the button on the front page. I think I've repeated some things there, sorry. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up. Share the video online if you want other people to see it. That'd be awesome. And hit the subscribe button to join this community here on YouTube. The best people on this channel, really. If you have any spiritual questions that you can't ask your peers, there are loads of people who are experienced in all sorts of fields, from channeling to reading runes on this channel. So just use the comment section as a resource to ask other people a question. Have an amazing week. Get in touch with me via the website, and I'll speak to you soon. Mwah!